Good morning all, 5:30 Tuesday morning, and we're back on the bike. A couple of days rest, which has been nice. I was feeling pretty tired over the weekend, and we're on active recovery, so 2 hours of fairly easy watts, trying to spin the legs, so a few kind of reps of high spins, and time to have a little think, time for a turbo talk. And maybe this one on thinking positive, and perhaps the dangers of thinking positive. I'm hearing a lot these days about positive thinking and being optimistic, and I've got no problem with that. But I also kind of always think that there's a bit of a warning, is if we just think kind of positive, then chances are you're going to be disappointed. There was a book written a few years back, which became a big industry, a book called The Secret, which kind of says that, if you only think positive, the world will turn to you. Some cosmic force will reciprocate and give you what you want. I just don't think it works that way. Sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, people can be absolutely distraught. It can ruin people. So most of us know that we have to go through ups and downs. Nothing wrong with having purpose. Important to have purpose. Important to look ahead, but just as important to look at the downsides and what could go wrong and what may go wrong. It was something that's always talked about with Michael Phelps, I think, in the Beijing Olympics. And he was going for, obviously, the gold and the world record. And whatever the event was, probably the 100-something or other. And he dived in and lost his goggles. And to anyone else, that would have been end of race. But he had visualised the race in his head. He'd gone through every scenario, including what happens when I lose my goggles. And what do I need to do? And so as soon as he lost his goggles, he immediately went into the plan B. He knew exactly how many strokes he needed to take, and when to turn. And hey, presto, he got the gold medal. And so we kind of know this, but I don't know how well we do it. I know there's something called the WOOP technique, and I've used that a couple of times before. A bit American, but WOOP, WOOP, stands for wish, and then outcomes, and then obstacles, and plan. And it makes sense, is that we should have wishes, we should have dreams, we should have aspirations, things that we really want to achieve. But we also need to think through those outcomes in a bit of depth. What really would it look like? If I get that wish, what will happen? It's like, I wish I was going to win the lottery or have £10 million. Great wish, but what are the real outcomes? Yeah, you better buy your yacht. What about your social circle? What will happen to those nearest and dearest to you? Will they still be as close? How will you manage that? So going through the outcomes is important. But the really important one is obstacles, the second O. And these are internal obstacles. These are obstacles that reside within you. And this is where it gets kind of quite tough and quite self-reflective. What are the things that are stopping you? This is not about the external ones. This is about what's stopping you internally. And trying to find those takes time and is quite uncomfortable for some, those internal blocks. But lastly then is the plan. Is putting something structured together, having some kind of framework, some kind of process, steps that you need to take to get to where you're going to go, things that you're going to need to do. So the WOOP process, or the WOOP mnemonic, is probably quite a useful one to try and remember. But if that gets a bit difficult, then just think, nothing wrong with positive thinking, but you probably need to think negative too, insofar as worst case scenarios, blockages, obstacles, what's stopping me going to get there, and then you can put a plan in place. Give it some thought. Let me know. Have a good day. Bye.